Hello, my name is Happy, and I'm the Crafty Chemist. Let's take a look at some of the things that I colored in December of 2024. First up, I have what was an untouched book, and it is Femmes, Fleurs, and Fettes. And I don't know what this means, something about coloring. I bought this in Ottawa last year. So this is being filmed in 2025. I bought it in 2024. So I finished my first picture in here. And I chose to do this one with the ballerina and the top and the kitty. And this has been done with watercolor only. I thought that might be a neat just wash of color over the image. And so this is the first one done in here. There's a lot more. I want to kind of experiment with it a little bit and kind of have fun. There's definitely some interesting and different kind of coloring in this book. So that was the first one I finished for December. Next, I had spirit animals that I colored in, and I did a couple of pages in here. And it is this castle and penguin pages. I did both of these two, sort of just wintry kind of pages. And this one I used Brute Square colored pencils for most of it. And there's a little bit of Neocolor 2s in here. And obviously there is some sparkly watercolor, the Soho watercolor that I got, and there is a little bit of gel pen as well. And then I think that's the sparkly stuff is all the Soho watercolor. I tried to make this look very three-dimensional with the light kind of coming from this side of the castle and do a lot of shading, and I had so much fun with this one. I worked on this a lot in Austin, but I didn't finish it. Well, I was in Austin in December, and I finished it on December 13th. Then I worked on the Snow Queen kind of image. I don't know if she'd be like a Russian Snow Queen because she's with the penguins, so she'd had to bring the penguins up from Antarctica. But this one I used Neocolor 2s again on, and other watercolors, and I wanted this to look kind of like a shower of stars coming down on her. And then I used a little bit of the Shuttle Art tempera paint stick and a stencil to make the stars in the background. Then I outlined them with the Tule Art paint pen to make them show up a little bit better. And some of them you can see I put a little bit of the glittery Soho watercolor on them. And then I wanted this to be a high contrast kind of color scheme. So since this is so yellow and warm, I wanted this area to be cool, except for the stars in her hair where they're kind of glowy and yellow and glittery. But that's why her dress and the adornments on her penguins are in these cooler colors, and the whole ice chair she's sitting on, so I tried to make this look a little bit like ice is in those cooler colors. And taken together, I love these two pages next to each other. I did have some plans for some more pages in here, and I may keep this out then for next month, or this month in January. I like the snakes as a 2-pager, and I like the dragon, and I want to do the dragon while the Year of the Dragon's still going on, and then get the snakes. So, maybe I'll just keep this out and work on these two and these two, and I'm going to keep them marked in the book so that I have them. I think there was something else that was marked up here. No, that's it. Just those other 2 pages and spirit animals. And then that gave me a lot more colored in spirit animals by getting to those 2. Next, I have Story of Precious Cats by Necco, which is currently my favorite book. And I did 3 pages in this book in December. First up, I have the double page where they're wrapping presents. Take that off here. And for this one, I used Prismacolors and a little bit of the glitter gel pens. I think I was mostly using the Ohuhu ones on this one, so I used some glitter, or I guess they're glitter markers, not gel pens. I used the glitter here on the ornament and on the gold beads here, and the presents have some glitter on them. And I tried really hard to make this cabinet look like the cabinet that we have in our living room with our TV on it. And then there's a little bit of, this one is a Jelly Roll black gel pen over this and white gel pen over here. The brown of the cabinetry came through here, so on that white gel pen, so it makes it look a little bit pinky, I guess, but that's okay. I really didn't want a bright white string on the elephant toy, but I had a lot of fun coloring this one. I like how bright I made the wall, and I took some inspiration from somebody's art channel where they show how to color trees to try to get the tree the way I wanted it. I didn't do as good as I would have liked to, and I had one of the other pages picked out for doing a tree, and I didn't get to it. So I was going to do this one, but I didn't get to it, and I did do this next page here then. So I finished this one on Christmas Day, and it does also have my Ohuhu glitter pens there, and another set of Prima Rosa gel pens is used in here. And I wanted this to look like a vintage Christmassy kind of scene. I don't know what was going on here, but I really liked that it's not like, I like scenes, but I like that there's just a lot of variety of things to color here. And so I did base the whole background and some of the other elements on the page with some water-based markers, the Ohuhu water-based markers. And then I colored over that background because it was too bright. I wanted it to be dulled down to look kind of like a wall that has like some boards. So that's the decoration. It's not like a wallpaper. It's like this is a board, and then this is a board, and this is the back part of the wall. So I wanted it to be kind of, I don't know what you'd call it, like not really a wainscoting, but some sort of texture on the wall that's been created with wood. And I washed over that entire marker area with Neocolored 2s. I used the white one and got this to be a much more muted tone, and I used Brute square pencils over the entire thing. So all the colored pencils were with Brute square. And then I tried to make the wreath look a little bit, three-dimensional as well by following some of those how to draw a tree tutorials. And the ribbon and everything, I tried to, make that look as three-dimensional as I could. And the ornaments, not necessarily be a metallic shiny glass kind of ornament, but to have some three-dimensional shape to them. They were colored with the markers first with colored pencil and maybe a little bit of Neocolor. I'm not sure if that was Neocolor on top of that as well or not. But I had a lot of fun with it. I tried to pick a color scheme that I want to bring over to here. Originally, I would have colored like the I'm sorry, Santa. This is the same Santa, or appears to be the same. I don't know if I'll make it exactly the same now since I didn't get to this page before Christmas, and I don't know that I will. I have plans to try to finish this entire book in 2025, and that would mean that I could probably finish up the rest of the Christmassy stuff with this one next year, which would be fun. I did start and not get finished with this Gingerbread Village one, but I don't necessarily think this is Christmassy, so I think this is just kind of a fun play, imaginary village kind of thing with the cats here for this one. So I will continue to work on this and probably get it finished here in January. And then I do have plans for other of the pages as we finish out the book for January as well. So these are the last 2 pages of the book, but then the winter section continues up here. One of the things that kind of, I'm going to give an opinion here, is a little weird to me about books that have seasons in them is that the end of the season is Christmas. And winter starts with Christmas, so I'm not sure why that is the case where, you know, we hit a heavy Christmas thing, and this is the start of winter, and we have winter through March here in North America. So I am not really sure why most of the books with seasons in them end with Christmas. The winter season should start with Christmas, and then we have a whole long thing of time to play in the snow and other holidays that kind of happen in the winter time. For instance, like Valentine's Day is a winter, you know, I know it's super commercialized, but it is a winter holiday. Even St. Patrick's Day occurs in winter. And so if somebody has a book that Christmas is the first part of the winter season and it continues on beyond that, I do like coloring seasonally, and I just don't like that the focus of the winter season is Christmas when it's not. So there are some cute things in here that are obviously not winter, and they are indoor kinds. I mean, obviously not Christmas, they are winter, and they're like indoor kinds of things. This is the one I mentioned in another video where I spilt my tea on it. I am drinking tea right now. I have a little bit of Scottish breakfast with some oat milk creamer, royal oat milk in it because I'm allergic to milk. So anyway, just splashed of cream. Anyway, so yeah, I'm a tea drinker in the afternoons, and I spilled my tea on this book one day. So that's just my little, like, tiny little gossipy sort of complaint. Like I said, if anybody knows of a book that I would be interested in, I do like coloring little animals wearing clothes. That's what I mostly color. And it has this wintry stuff that's not all Christmas, then hey, hit me up. I'm interested in looking at it. Although I do have a stash of 100 books exactly now, so I'm slightly trying to keep it there. I don't know. This is one of the books that I did get for Christmas, and I colored in it right away. So I colored this page by Joseph Kattenbang with the dragon rider. I don't know what you would call it, but this is done with Brute Funer squares and gel pens. And this is partly distressed crayons, partly colored pencils. And I think it turned out really, really neat with the distressed crayons in the background. And I maybe should do something like a video showing how to achieve that kind of look. It has a little bit of a feel to it, but not really bad, and it hasn't like transferred to the other page. So I was really excited to color this. It looks like it does have hidden objects, like this spear I think is a hidden object, and this mace and the bow and the lantern, but I just kind of incorporated those in here, and the shield because they fit with this anyway. I don't know if this is a battle. I guess you could kind of call it a battle or trying to hit the dragon, but yeah. I did also use the water-based Ohuhu markers on this. So this background has pencil and marker and the Tim Holtz distress crayons. So like you can see, this is the one I used in the background for that. And I do want to color some more in this. I didn't start anything else, but I think I'm going to color this one in January. So I'm going to leave that one marked in this book. So I did do one page in this. It was a brand new book, and that is the Mythographic Artist's Vault. And I love this book. There's so many neat things in it. It's fun to just sit and look through it. Next, I got this one. This is called Green Ivy. And I don't remember the artist's name. If I look it up, I can put it in here. But this was another new book that was a Christmas present. And I just colored the first page of the winter season. And I tried to copy this page as much as I could. This has been based with the water based markers, and then there are Neocolored 2s over the top. So like I tried to do it all with the water-based marker. A little bit of it did go through the page here and here, and it just wasn't turning out how I wanted it to. So I went ahead and went over it with the Neocolored 2s and didn't activate them with water, and you can't really tell that that's there, and that was pretty cool. So there is a combination of Neocolored 2s over water-based markers. All of the like background is the water-based markers, and then there's a little bit of shading with colored pencil, and then there's the Neocolored 2s for like, see the little puppy, I think it's a puppy on his little outfit. I recreated those with the Neocolored 2s and the little yellow on her dress. I didn't end up making it as bright as noticeable as over here, but I kind of like how it is on this. And that is the water-based marker in the background of her dress, and then the Neocolored 2s over the top with a little bit of shading with colored pencil. And then the kitty is shaded with colored pencil and based with the marker. And then this is colored pencil around the outside, and these are a little bit brighter than these guys are, but you know, the color scheme is the same. This is a really cute book, and the pages are very simple. So this is in the winter section, and that is the first of the winter pages. So this book does have a little bit of Christmas. It's again at the end of the winter season. So we have her with the reindeer. This one was something about the team's all ready to go or something like that. And then this one also seems very Christmassy to me, but I like that she's knitting and there's balls of yarn. The other thing that's neat about this book is that it has, the lines are not all the same color, so they won't be as obvious unless you want them to be. And so on the page that I colored, I don't think that you can actually see the lines very well. Well, I actually lost the lines in the curtains and kind of had to add them back in. There you can see them around the window and in their hair, but I shaded over that with colored pencils, and you can see the lines in there. But it would be easy to cover up the lines because they are very sketchy, and they are often a color that goes with what the example image color is. So I think it's a really pretty book. It was on my wish list, and it was a present from my husband, and I am excited to spend some more time coloring in it this season as well. And then there's just like note pages and stuff here in the back, but I'll talk about this a little bit more in a haul video. And then these last two pages, technically I finished here after the start of the new year, but I really worked on them mostly in December, so I just went ahead and included them in here. And the first is this one here, and I think she's the Snow Maiden. Let me check a look at here. Yeah, that's the Snow Maiden. And the lore with her, because this is an occult and folklore book, is she's known as, I have no idea, it's a Russian word, Snegoroka in Russian. So the Snow Maiden helps Father Frost deliver gifts to good children during the New Year celebration. So it was a good one to color as one of the first ones that I finished for this year, and that it goes along with the season, and you know, I love it. But the background is again done with Neocolored 2 and Distress crayons, and a little bit of colored pencil to fill in a few things. And then I used gel pens for the circular snow and actually the other snowflakes as well. So I think this one was a Thule art, and then this is the Prima Rosia gel pens. And then there is a lot of different sparkly things to this, so she really sparkles, and I used whatever I could find that was sparkly. So there's watercolor in there. This is like a Mozart watercolor here and here. This is gel pen. This is gel pen. Well, actually, I think this is sparkly marker. And this is gel pen. It's just so much, so many things. I wanted to shade the birds to kind of like reflect the sky colors. I wanted them to be white, but with a sky like this, then they wouldn't necessarily be all white. And I did use a colored pencil blender. It looks like I could do a little bit more work on the colored pencil blender on her face to make the outside of it be kind of a blue color and reflect that. So this one I really like, and I'm super proud of it, and it was so much fun. And the other one I did is the ancestral tree, and this one has chalk pastels for the background, and then it has a gold gel pen for highlights. And the other thing I did use on both of these pages, this one too, is watercolor pencils. So for the tree, what I did was used watercolor pencils for the entire tree, including the trunk, but this one was a graphite watercolor pencil. And then I colored over it with unactivated watercolor pencil to have the colors kind of blend into the tree. And then I used the gold gel pen to provide like gold highlights to the tree. Down here I used a brown glitter pen, which is really awesome. And I put glitter pens on all of the ornaments and then made them have little gold accents on them. But the whole background is chalk pastel, and I activated it with water to get it to spread around, but then I also went back and colored over it again and used my finger to make sure that it was blending how I wanted it to blend. I used some sort of a snowy image mostly with the sky in it for inspiration for how I did the background, but I wanted the light to be coming from this star on the ancestral tree and then just fading out into the reds on both sides, but also showing that it is a cooler blue color down towards the ground. So I finished this one on the first, I finished this one on the second. I think they look fantastic when they're put together and laid out together, and they're so beautiful. I really had a lot of fun with thinking about how I wanted to color the pages.
Sorry for the interruption. After I recorded the video, I discovered that I had missed 2 pages that I had colored last month because I didn't get them written down. This one's from Fairytales and Folklore, and it is the title page. I used the Ohuhu water-based markers and colored pencils over the top of it, and I tried to match the color scheme from the cover of the book. I also colored this from A Million Baby Animals by Lulu Mayo. I did most of it while I was on my trip. I can't remember what colored pencils that I used, but I did use some watercolor in here. And I also did the background to cover up where some distress ink had come through from the other page. You can see I used some brushes and some distress crayons to create the effect in the background. I have a video to share in a little bit on how I did that background effect. And now we'll go back to the other video.
And mixing up media for all of the colored pages that I did for this into the 2024, start of the new year sort of thing. I don't have any specific plans for what I'm going to do in January just yet, but I'll think about that, and when I have them, I will share them with you. And that's the end of my coloring finished pages for December 2024. And I thank you so much for watching. 2024 was a really fun year, and I appreciate you being here with me for it.
Happy coloring. Bye-bye.